this is HuffFX and welcome to my first tutorial that I've ever done, and it may or may not be my last because I haven't really been uploading or doing anything on YouTube. And the reason for that is I just lost motivation. I don't really want to join any clans because I'm not into Call of Duty, I'm more into Battlefield, and I just don't really like doing stuff for other people who are ignorant and assholes. So I've decided to branch my graphic design out, and I've been doing stuff for companies close by, like local where I live, and it's been working out. I've gotten paid a couple times, several times, and yeah, life is great. I'm not really going to school anymore, actually at all, but that's a whole different story. I may do an update or something if I'm going to do a comeback. I doubt I'm going to do a comeback, but you never know. If I feel like doing one, I'll announce it on Twitter or something. But yeah, so pretty much what I'm going to show you is this little thing right here. So if I go to my zoomy tool and I go here, this is what I'm going to teach you guys how to do. And it's pretty much the outline of a logo stroke, or the outline of a logo with space in between. There's probably like several different ways of doing this. This is the way that I do it. I like it because I did it, and yeah. This stroke is actually a little too big for the tutorial, so I'm gonna make it different, or just change the size of the stroke. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a new layer of this logo. So now there's two of them, and on the top one I'm going to lock and make it not visible. And hold on, let me just I was in a conversation with this guy. Yeah, so go back to here. So I've locked and made the top one not visible. I'm not going to use it now or in this tutorial. You guys can do whatever you want with it. You can do a pattern, you can put textures on it, you can do whatever, but I'm just going to leave it at this. After that, you want to make a stroke for this also, but first you want to select the tool with your just regular select tool, or V for short, and you want to change the stroke. So you want to change the stroke for this. I'm just going to make it the same color. Oh, and by the way, I'm using Adobe Illustrator CC version 17.1 on my Mac. Don't really remember the specs, I'm just going to show you. Version 10.9.2, which is OS Mavericks, OS X Mavericks, I think. That processor is a 2.5 gigahertz Intel Core i5, and I have 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I have 500 gigabytes in my hard drive, and I have two separate 1 terabyte hard drives. So altogether I have 2,500 gigabytes of space, but one of them is dying and I'm very sad. I don't know what I'm going to do with the files inside. It's all of my old stuff from when I first started graphic design, so it's very important for me to keep because I like memories. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a stroke, and this is all going to depend on your personal preference, but maybe I can actually make the stroke this time. There we go. Okay, so for me, I'm going to do 4 points, and the reason why I said it's all in your personal preference is because this stroke, this is the path of the logo, and the inside of the path is the actual logo. The outside of the path is the stroke. The stroke in this case is indicating the space between the logo and the actual outline that I'm going to do. So I put it at 4, so there's a nice gap in between because I like nice gaps. So yeah, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go to Object, Path, Outline, Stroke. And now that will come up with all these weird lines. Don't worry about that. You can do separate stuff with that. You can mess around with it or whatever. But you're going to go to Pathfinder, and if you guys do not have Pathfinder on Illustrator, or if you don't have it shown up, you go to Window and Pathfinder. On Mac, it's Shift Command F9. On Windows, I think it's Shift Control F9 or Shift Alt F9. Probably Shift Control F9. But once you have that open, you go to Shape Modes, and it is Unite. And that's pretty much any layer that is selected that are like intertwined between each other, so they're touching somehow. They will all combine, pretty much like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up this logo so there's no lines that don't need to be there, like these. or no anchors that need to be there. So now you have a very clean background to your logo. And if you want, you can make this visible, click here, click all of you, and change the color. And this is just to show you, this is just like a stroke. That looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. Even though it's just a stroke, it just looks good with his logo text thing. And by the way, this is Bear's logo text concept. He's a really good graphic designer, really good friend, and yeah, he is lead of Immerse and Boosted. He used to be named the king of not tutorials. Wow, he doesn't do tutorials. His English is horrible. He was the king of RCs. And when I said king, I had like quotation marks in my hand going up and down because that's what he named himself. He was doing very well on recruitment challenges. I'm not gonna lie. He was doing very well on recruitment challenges. But yeah, so pretty much that's what it looks like. It's pretty much just the outline. But if I go more in depth with it and I do some other stuff, I can actually select it and go to Object, Path, Offset Path. And I'm just gonna hit preview to show you the path part, the inside path. Oh, okay, I can't really zoom in, but the inside path right here, if you can see my mouse, inside of that is the original and outside is the offset path. And this is gonna create two separate layers. So if I hit OK, and then this is on 3-point, but the gap between those two paths is pretty much what the outline is going to be. So, you can do whatever. 4 was a little too big. This was 4 up here, and then 3 is what I'm about to show you. So once you have that, you see now you have 2 layers. This one's selected, and all you want to do is shift click. Alright? When you do that, you want to go back to Pathfinder and use the second one. The second one is minus front. Sorry if you guys can hear my air conditioner. It turns on automatically periodically. So you use minus front, and pretty much it is anything in the front of the background object will get deleted. And in simpler words, that. So now you're pretty much finished, okay? So, you can go here and voila, look at that. You have the outline of the logo stroke, or, the outline with a gap in between the logo and the stroke. And that thing. So yeah, there it is. There are some issues with doing the stroke stuff, and on these type of logo, like text logos or logo concepts that are very squarish and there's all angles, there's not really that much curves and stuff, it is easier to do. On ones with curves like my logo, it is harder to do. And this one, it looks perfectly fine. I just showed you with the stroke, but this is my logo version 2.0. Version 1.0 is very crappy. And the reason why it's not crappy as in like it looks like shit, it's just as crappy because you can't really do an outline. What I mean by that is if I go here and I choose an outline, I do that, and I make it bigger, look at that. It's very issued up. And my mom just came in the door. So yeah, that's a little issue. I just repen tooled it and it worked out fine. And yeah. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Psych. My mom came home. I didn't really know what to do, so I just kind of cut it off early. But pretty much, yeah. So came out, looked all pretty, and I can do the same thing that I did with, the other one. I'm not going to show you that whole process again because you guys can just rewind and look at it again. If you guys have any questions or anything, you can email me. I'll put my email in the description. You can, comment on this video, asking a question. You can send me a message on YouTube. You can send me a message on Twitter. I'll answer all those questions or any of those questions. And this may or may not be my last tutorial/video on my channel. I don't really know. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll leave Bear's channel in the description like I said before. And yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later. This is the actual goodbye.